So before I get started, I want to walk you through a few of the things that I've already done so far to prep. So I have the oven preheated to 350. I have 3 cake pans all prepped. So I first greased them with butter and then some flour. And I'm trying out these new pre-cut parchment rounds from King Arthur Flour. I've also already measured my dry ingredients. I have 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 2 teaspoons ground cinnamon, 3/4 teaspoon nutmeg, 1/2 teaspoon ginger, and 1/4 teaspoon cloves. So basically, this smells amazing. Whisk this all together, make sure it's nice and evenly combined. Now, another thing we have to do before we get started, this recipe technically calls for applesauce, but I didn't have any, and neither did Kroger when I placed an Instacart order, but it does say you can substitute with buttermilk. Now, I don't have buttermilk either, but buttermilk is very, very easy to substitute on your own if you have regular milk and white vinegar. I already have a cup of milk already measured out, and I'm going to add a tablespoon of white vinegar to it. First thing we are going to do is cream together our butter and our sugar. In this case, we have dark brown sugar, 1.5 cups packed. We are adding 3 eggs, and we're adding them one at a time. Now, the next step is 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla, but I personally subscribe to the idea that you measure vanilla with your heart. So I'm going to use my teaspoon, but if it happens to spill over, I'm not going to sweat about it. Let's be real. Now, ideally, you want to do 3 additions of your dry mixture to 2 additions of your wet, so back and forth, back and forth. Nice and cozy, and they're little flat top bake strips. So now we are ready. Oh, there we go. Try it again. We are ready to put them in the oven. So while our cakes are in the oven, I like to get started on A, a little bit of cleaning, and B, most importantly, whatever fillings or toppings or anything I'm going to use. So for this cake, we first of all have a cinnamon cream cheese frosting. So I have my cream cheese and my butter all getting to room temperature. But my mixing bowl is soaking in the sink, so we're going to work on our other filling, which is a crunchy cinnamon streusel, just to give the cake a little more texture. We'll have it both in the layers, and then I'll have some for decoration and for a little extra on the outside. So dual-purpose streusel, decoration, and it's delicious. The first thing we do is 1/2 cup of flour. And my next sifter. 6 tablespoons of packed light brown sugar. Like that. 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon. Kind of like vanilla, you measure cinnamon with your heart, so a little over 1 tablespoon. I'm not going to be heartbroken about it. There, beautiful. 3 tablespoons of unmelted butter melted, and a pinch of salt. And what we're going to do with this, once it's done, is we're going to bake it on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper at the same temperature as our cake. So I'm actually just going to use the oven because it's already preheated. And it's only for about 5 to 7 minutes, which sometimes can be a little confusing. It doesn't always look done, but it will harden a little extra as it sits out. So trust the recipes. It'll be fine. So it has been 7 minutes since I put the streusel in, so I'm going to take that out. You're going to let them cool on a wire rack in the pan for about 10 minutes. You don't really want it to be any more than that, because if it gets super cool in the pan, they'll start to stick. We don't want that. Figured I'd actually show you the whole breaking up the streusel process. So you can see it's almost more crumbly than really crispy right now. So it might lead you to think it's not actually done. But again, it'll get a little more crunchy as it cools. And I mean, you don't want it to be, break your teeth hard. It's just supposed to be a nice little added texture. So our cakes are at least marginally cool now. And you can kind of tell they're ready because they'll start pulling away from the side. Oh, and then it will fall like that. Well, that's fine. Okay, so don't hold it up to a camera. Lesson learned. But look, it stayed together on the parchment round. We can make it work. So, cakes are chilling in the fridge. We are now going to make the cinnamon cream cheese frosting that's going to fix the cake that fell apart. It's going to be all good, I promise. So I have 8 ounces of very room temperature cream cheese. And then we have 1.25 cups of room temperature butter. We'll get that going about medium speed or so, and about 3 minutes. Our cream cheese and our butter has been going for a few minutes, so we are now ready to add our powdered sugar, about 1 cup at a time. Now that we have mixed in all our powdered sugar, we're going to add our vanilla and our cinnamon. We're going to mix these in, and then we're going to mix it again for another 3 minutes. Again, make it nice and fluffy and easy to work with. So, we have finished whipping up our frosting, which means it is time to assemble our cake. If you are an amateur cake decorator like me, there are a few tools that are absolutely invaluable. One is a cake stand that spins. Thank you very much, my good friend Nikki, for getting me this one. Some other tools that are really helpful are going to be some offset spatulas. I really like having both a very large one and a kind of more small, medium-sized one. And the first thing you want to do is take a little bit of your frosting and actually put it on the cake board itself. This just kind of helps the cake stick to it, so you don't want your cake kind of sliding all over the place. Now our cake board is ready. We're going to put the first layer on it, and I'm going to use the derpy layer that fell apart. Then you're going to put a little bit of your frosting. Sounds about 1/2 cup, but you know, whatever you want. And now we just kind of go crazy with some of our streusel. Called our crumb coat. When you go to smooth your icing on, you'll notice it starts picking up crumbs, and you don't want all those crumbs in your outer layer. So you're going to put on a very thin coat, chill that, and then do your outer layer. So this is not going to be the layer that, we need to look super nice. Coat on, so this is going back in the fridge for half hour, however long you have. It's not super important. So we are just about ready for our last bit of decorating. I am going to do a few little piping bits. Best way to add icing to a piping bag is to put the piping bag into a tall glass and then put some icing in it. And my piping bag is ready for when I need it. But that is not yet. Now, the design on this cake is very rustic, which is kind of nice because it means it doesn't have to be as smooth of sides. So I'm just going to kind of add some frosting and then just kind of swoop along with my offset spatula. And that is the plan. he's doing going for smooth sides. I'll tell you what. Now I'm going to head and pipe my little border up here. Now we have all this leftover streusel. I'm just going to kind of put those in the middle up top. Make it like a rim, or you can just kind of dump it all in the middle, whatever you're feeling. I'm feeling like I have a whole lot of streusel, so I'm going to use it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the back of my offset spatula and just kind of put some streusel on it and then like push it up to the side of the cake. And there you go. We have our rustic spice cake with cinnamon cream cheese frosting. Got some little swirlies on the side. Again, it's a little more rustic instead of nice smooth sides, but hey, it's a style choice. There we go. Now, when you make a cake like this and you have all this frosting, you do want to make sure you put it in the fridge to let it set before you try to transport it anywhere. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time. But there you go. Thanks for watching.